Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Lonnie.
And today we're going to share with you our home on wheels. Lonnie's going to give you a tour of the outside. I'll give you a tour of the inside. You'll get to see everything and how we just cram so much stuff into such a small little camper van.
And 2 people and 2 dogs.
Yes. So all of us are staying in this camper van. We're having a lot of fun just touring America and just seeing a lot of beautiful places. But it's a little bit tight, so we'll show you how we make things work. We hope you enjoy it.
Just getting ready to set up our van, and I wanted to walk through with you and show you how we camp in our van. And so I want to kind of walk around the outside and kind of show you all the new things. This is a 2024 Entegra Ethos 20T. And so it's a Ram chassis ProMaster and built out for as an RV. So it's front wheel drive, which is really nice, especially going up hills. Got plenty of power in it. Nice big window, allows you to be able to see a lot, and it just runs really good. So the van itself's about 22 foot long, and it has all the access ports on this side. So we have, obviously we get into our driver's side and a nice step stool into it. But other than that, this whole side is really just the service side, like filling up your gas. Yeah, regular gas is what we fill out. It also has propane tanks, and so this is the fill. So you have to get somebody that knows how to fill up your propane tank, and then you turn it on and off here. And and as well as when you're draining your tanks, your water tanks, there's 2 valves down here that allow you to draw. This is the lowest part, so you just drain those valves are up and underneath here. Yep. And so that just drains the water out, so that if you store in it, it's not going to have water in it, especially if you're in a cold climate. You certainly don't want to. This is the muffler for the engine. So this is just the Ram ProMaster exhaust. So this is our Truma water heater, and this also has our furnace. So this actually heats our air, conditions our air inside if we're cold, which we haven't had to do yet, but we have used this for hot water and it works super good. It runs off of both gas and electric, but gas seems to be quicker. So speaking of connecting the shore, so we have a 30 amp plug. So this on this model, this can override any power that you have on within the van. So you plug in here with a cord that it's included, and this will run everything inside. And it's a 30 amp, so you just need to make sure whatever you're plugging into is a 30 amp. Okay. If what you're plugging into is a 50 amp, then you need a breaker, a cord that number one goes down, but always buy this little breaker box. Mm-hmm. The breaker box then helps make sure if there's a power outage or some surge at your campsite, it's not going to go in and bust up your van. So this is 30 amp. So and so there's 3 plugs. Mm-hmm. A 50 amp will have 4 plugs, so you won't be able to plug your thing in. So you can see it's 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. This is how we put water into our tanks. It's got a 15-gallon-ish tank. And there's several different ways. You can just connect. If you're at a campground, you can just connect this, and then water just bypasses. You can also fill up your tank through here, and then you can also siphon. So you use the water pump to suck water from I guess if you had maybe your pool or maybe a river or something, you could siphon water out of that into here using the pump. So the pump would suck it through.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
And we use a filter before we put water.
We do. Yeah, we filter everything through the filter before it goes into our system. Mm-hmm. This is a black water flush. So it's similar. It's the same kind of, oops, nice light. Didn't realize that was there. Sorry. So this is a black tank flush. So this is where your number 2 goes and your number 1 goes. This helps knock all the stuff down. So after you've drained it, you connect a water, usually at your dump sites, there's a non-potable hose. This is where you connect it. And then this will go in, and at the end, there's a little adapter that sprays the water and knocks down all the stuff in there. And then you open your valve again, and then more rest of that will come out. So, okay. We did C there, which real quick, we'll just go through. Nice little light, because sometimes you're out here at the dark. So you want to make sure that you're there, that you're working on it. This is just a little 110 plug, just in case you needed to plug something in there. It gives you an exterior plug. That's the only outside plug that we have, so it allows you to plug something. Say you want to watch TV, or or you want to have a little cooker or something that's all electric. You could have it outside. And then we also have a solar override. So these are our solar panels will go into this and will help us kind of back charge our batteries, and then also runs power through the inverter. And then we can draw that energy into the plugs into the van. They did include this plug, so it's kind of unique. So you make sure you find that. I don't even know what that type of plug is called. So, but
they included the plug.
They included the plug for that.
You can plug it into your solar panel.
Yeah. So at the other side, it has what a solar panel. They're called. I can't think of the typical solar panel plugs. It'll be clipped on ones. So one has a point, and one is a male and a female. Okay. So then down below, you see the exhaust for the generator. So underneath there is a small generator. You can see it. It's right up in there. Okay. It's really hard to see.
Oh, I bet that's fun to get to.
Yeah. And so here's the exhaust for the generator. And then this is your dump valve for your gray tank, which is just your shower and your sink water, as well as your black tank. Mm-hmm. So works just like any usual RV. There's gate valves over on the side. You pull one and the other off. Okay. So this is a recent addition for this trip. One thing that kind of baffled me was that the Entegra Ethos, actually most of these new vans don't have a spare tire. So they give you this little pump with this foam, and you hope it works. And so I think it's a big mess. So what we did is we went ahead and got, this is a ladder from Illuminous. There's several different versions. But what's nice about most all of them is they utilize the existing hinges. So this isn't attached or hanging on your door. So the bracket right here is using the strength of this hinge, which is awesome. Okay. It does have some steps to get around the tire, and then you can climb up and you get up on your ladder. And then here's our spare tire. Makes Lonnie feel better. Now have a spare tire while we're traveling around the world. So it opens and closes with the door. So it's really nice how they kind of designed it. So one thing is that most of these doors will open all the way, because the base ProMaster is a service truck. So these things, they got to get in here and work on them. So they open up and clear out, and there's kind of stops. But when you go and put this ladder on, they have you put this little strap, so that, this little strap, so that your tire doesn't hit right there. So it's pretty cool. So that's the process. So, but this is the back side. Obviously, you have a wet bath here. Tracy will go through more of that. But for me, a bit more importantly is this is where I'm storing all my cables now. So there's where all my cables, they were down here. So it's nice because this now clears it up, because I need a jack. Now I have a spare tire again, I need a jack. And then there's a lug wrench back in there as well. So that's where just kind of your extra little cubby on here that's provided. It does have a shower thing in there, so you can plug in here and you can hose out and hose yourself down, wash your dogs, whatever.
You have a shower. Oh, is that what this is for?
No, it's inside. It's back in here. It's just
Okay,
back
that's fine.
behind. But yeah, it's just a little quick connect plug with a spray nozzle on it.
Okay.
Um,
You also have outlets?
Yep, so there's some outlets here to play with. You can turn the water pump on here as well as inside the coach. And I believe this is powering that, turns that water on once the plug's connected.
And then you have your hoses.
Yep, so
Water.
this is, yep, water
fill?
yeah, water fill, so white. And then you would want something different. This is for our solar panel. So this connects, this is the special plug I was talking about. See it? Okay. And so it has some connections, and then I made a longer extension. And then this here has, these are the two connections that go into the solar panel. So we have some fold out solar panels. We can sit on the ground, supplement, and get us some free power from the sun. And this is your big shore power connection 30 amp wire. So this is the 30 amp plug, and this is what connects into the connection that I showed you earlier. So that is everything that you need to kind of hook up. Yep, a little storage there. You got your shampoo, and then you got your little toilet paper, which is kind of cool. So at least it keeps it from rolling out everywhere. Some blackout shades, which are cool because they're magnetic, really nice. So we actually just leave those on.
Towel bar.
Yep, towel bar. And then I think that's on this side, some more storage. This is always good to have too. This is called a dog bone. So this goes from a 30 amp to your normal, like what's on your extension cord. So sometimes when you plug into your house or you know, your mooch docking at somebody's place, they're not going to have a 30 amp plug. So you'd plug your plug into this and then this into the extension cord, and then you can get some power. So always good. All these little things, you find out pretty quick which ones you need. Okay. So then this, I'm going to close the other one first. Yep. So the door opens, locks all the way open, which is nice. Nice big step, which is cool because
We have some storage here.
we have a little bit of storage that we added, which is just nice because there is space here, and you're always looking for things. Little nets, yeah, just little nets, and they're just screwed in, and it's nice. And then you have a nice screen door to keep the bugs out. So you have to make sure that you take your time with it because it's not the smoothest thing. Yeah, it's pretty delicate. So we also have an awning. So the awning comes out. It has multiple ways. It can come out and just cantilever by itself, so it doesn't have arms down. Or you can, it has arms that come down and go into the little bracket here to give you a little bit more stability on your awning. And on the roof, there's a 200-watt solar panel in the front part, and then the air conditioner unit, and then a couple racks with some storage. We got some chairs and some recovery boards in case we get stuck.
All right, so I get to show you exactly what it looks like to camp in this van. So it is exactly how it is when we're camping, because we currently are camping. So I get to show you everything inside, just like it if you were camping. So it's not everything's amazingly clean. There are some flies in here because there are flies in the wilderness. So let me show you what's inside the van. Welcome to our home. All right, the first thing I'm going to show you is our setup. Whenever we're camping, we usually have one chair turned around so that one of us can be actually working immediately. Like we don't have to mess anything, we don't have to turn the chair around. We immediately turn the chair around when we get to camp so that it's easy to use. For the works part of it, you can just sit down in the chair. We have a little desk that you can just pull up and down and immediately start your workday. Lonnie starts his workday every day promptly at 7:30, and he just is very quiet. He can come over here and just go ahead and start his work. So that just flips up and down and stows like this for travel. Along the side here, we do have some extra storage. So just like things like napkins, a knife, things like that, we can store here. And these pockets were ones that we found on Amazon. Real quickly, the rug is something that we found on Amazon too. It really makes it easy to just pull out, shake out at the end of a few days, and you don't have to worry about vacuuming at all. Also, over here we have a drawer where we can store Lonnie's Mountain Dew, some sugar, and some extra towels. As we come back into the coach, you can see that we have our super base here. This is just a battery. So this battery is what we use to run things when we're not running a generator. Actually, the generator will also charge this, as well as the alternator while we're driving. It will charge this. You can charge this on solar as well. Also, when you camp at a site that has full hookups, you can plug this into an outlet real quickly and then just charge it that way as well. So the super base runs our Starlink, can also run our ice maker, our coffee pot, as well as our small rice cooker. So it works really, really well. Moving up on the cab, we have some storage ahead. We've got storage for Jacqueline, the jackalope, as well as our glasses, our keys, our hats, our wallets, things like that, that we need to access pretty quickly, go right here above the cab. Even up above the cab, we have what's called a pizza oven. This is where we store things like a handy fly swatter for when we're out camping. We also store our hiking boots and other things, dog bowls, things like that, that we need really easily accessible. We can store up here in the pizza oven. Behind each of the seats, we have a little hook that will store these little bags. Each of these bags contains some kind of snack or something that we need as we're traveling down the road. So make sure if you are going to use something like this that it doesn't hang, there's not too much weight on here. But it is good for extra storage, especially in a small space with, again, 2 adults and 2 dogs. We have a solid surface countertop. In that countertop, we have a Dometic propane stove. So with the stove, we can do things like, obviously cook. We do make our dinners on the stove as well, but we can also use the microwave. That is a convection oven as well. And it also has an air fryer and all kinds of other things. It works really, really well. We have a Norcold refrigerator. Not too bad. I mean, it's pretty decent size. So we store most of our food that needs to be cold in here. On top, we have a sink, and in the sink it's actually pretty deep, so when we travel I usually just have all of the stuff that we use in this little basket I got from the Dollar Tree, and then I can just stow it away and we're ready to go. We also have here is where we keep our Keurig coffee pods in this little Keurig holder that we got on Amazon as well, so we can just make sure it's all organized and it stays pretty good as we're traveling. Each of these little compartments is like one of the airline, like the airline overhead bins. Here's the airline overhead bins, where we can store things like our rice cooker, cups, our pots and pans that we use to actually cook with, and other things. As we keep going, I do use each of these spaces for storage, and it is because you try to get as much as you can, it's not always organized. So just know that when you are living in a van for weeks and weeks on end, don't get so frustrated if things are not exactly organized in the way you like them at your house, because here we're trying to get as much as we can into the van so that we can use it without having to always go to the store every time we stop. So we have paper plates, we have some of our food and our canned good items as well. And when you're moving down the road, things tend to shift. So one of the things I was thinking I might want to get eventually some kind of netting that kind of mounts here, and that way all the canned goods can stay there. So this is basically our food. So we have 2 areas for food. We have the refrigerator and then some bags, but that's about it in terms of where we keep food for ourselves. We do keep food for the dogs underneath the bed, and I'll show you that in a minute. We also have 2 drawers here. So one of the drawers, this is actually somewhat organized, but we do have the drawers, and we have the Joseph utensil holder in here, which is really nice, keeps things somewhat organized. We even use some of these things, the cups that measure things, that fold. So you just try to find things that are useful, but also compact. For our cooking, we use these pots and pans, and each of these has a little hook where you can just hook on to the side of the pan And then that's how you hold the pan. It's actually pretty clever. So we have that. We have a whole set of pots and pans that use these two handles. And that's what gets stored here. We have a heater as well. And then up here on top, I forgot to show you, we have a tower of power where you have the USB, USB-C, and then 2 outlets as well. And then as we keep going backwards, we have a TV that's actually pretty bad. So I think we're going to maybe one day get rid of that. But up here is like the AV and stuff for it. Then we have 2 areas here for clothes, and they're just all shoved in there as well. Now that we switched sides, we can show you our little Firefly. Oh, it's kind of hard to see, but it's on. This is the controller for everything that we do, starting the generator, looking at the water, seeing all of our levels for our LP, for our black tank, for our fresh tank, for our gray water. So everything can be controlled here as well as on our phones, which is really nice. Coming back, we have Atari. Atari's sitting on our storage bed. So both of these are twin beds. The reason why mine's a little higher than Lonnie's is because I have an additional mattress topper that I bought, and he didn't want one. So maybe one day he'll get one when he decides that's right. But each of these were purchased off of JCPenney's, but you can buy these comforters anywhere really. So Atari's sitting on our storage. So this side over here is for storage. If you lift this bed up, which I won't because she's on it, underneath are basically her food and Tank's food. So we do make our dogs food on the road, which means we cook fresh rice for them. We add beans, we add all kinds of delicious food for them, and they get their food made on the road. So we don't feed them kibble anymore. They actually get something closer to like a farmer's dog recipe, and we just make it for them. Both of our dogs, by the way, are adopted. Below here, we have a lagoon table. So this just pops off, and I won't show you, but the legs go in here, and this makes a full table where Lonnie and I can dine, or we can play cards, or do actual work. On the side here are things that we added. These are just little hangers. And you can just stick your shoes there, which I find to be very helpful and out of the way. So my slippers, Lonnie's slippers, and then my shoes will go here. All right, moving on. So I didn't tell you, but we have a JBL speaker that was included actually with some USB ports here. We have a paper towel holder that we added just purchased it from Amazon. Each of these windows opens and closes by just holding these two together and sliding them. Very easy. They can go partial way as well. So if you just want half a window, it will lock right into place. These are really nice. And you get the screen, but if you didn't want the screen, you just flip this little button, and then you can have a pass-through if you wanted to. Then your window covers are just blinds, so they just go up and they go down, they go up. Real easy. I added these fans because living with 2 bulldogs, it gets pretty stinky, so we use the fans to kind of help push the bulldog stinkiness out. We have 2 outlets here on this side, and I think as well on Lonnie's side, and then we have lights that you just push for reading. Over here we have our Truma water heater, which we love. This heats up the water really, really well. When we're boondocking, we do have to use the gas function. However, when we're hooked up to shore power, we will use the electric, and that works really well as well. This also functions as a heater. The Truma also functions as a heater for our van as well. Here we have our lighting, so you can add, just turn on the lights, turn them off from here as well. It's just an additional way to turn on lights. In addition to the fire, I think it's called the Firefly that we were using. Our phones, we also have this as well. Above, we have a smoke detector, an AC unit, and then additional 1, 2, 3, 4 lights. And above Lonnie's head right now, we have our max fan that will allow air to flow through the cabin without actually using a air conditioner or like leaving the door open. So that is the main kind of living area. Now these 2 beds, they do fold into a king size bed, so you can, well, I think it's a king size bed. You can put these together. However, Lonnie and I like to keep them separate so that at night, Atari can sleep right here on the floor in the middle. Tank sleeps pretty much where you are right now. And then they all have their space, but it still allows us to have access to the bathroom. So we're able to get up and use the bathroom. So come on in, let me show you this really small bathroom. All right. Starting on this side, we just have our standard bathroom toilet for an RV. We have a fold-up sink that you can just fold up and use and then close. On the side here, we have obviously on and off, but this is actually a water miser that allows us to circulate water while we're boondocking and let it get hot before we actually turn on the shower. So that does save us a lot of water. We have a medicine cabinet that we installed a safety lock on because it just pops open. We have a fan here as well that you can use. You just push up to let it on. You can turn on the fan here, turn it off when you're done, pull this down when you're driving. And then we have a shower head that really we just pull off, shower and use. We don't really use it hanging there. It doesn't really work well there, so it works well as a hand shower. We have a shower curtain here that's magnetized, and it magnets to the back of the van. We have a towel rack here as well as some covers for the van. This is the toilet roll holder, and we use this because when we're showering, the shower will come over here, but this will keep the toilet paper protected from any moisture. So that's that. Coming along the side over here. Over here we have a linen closet, basically, that stores basically everything else we need. So we have got 4 little bins in here. 2 of these bins are for my work because I do work on the road. These 2 bins are for like towels and other things that we might need. Everything else kind of gets put in here where it will fit. And it actually works out really nicely the way it is. Then we have 3 drawers, 1, 2, and 3, that just store each of our items that we need when we're using the restroom or when we're on the road. The door slides in and out. It's a pocket door. And when we go to travel, we just latch it like this and we're ready to go. So with that, I think you've seen the full layout of the camper van when we actually are using it. So I hope that this video was helpful and encouraged you to think about good storage solutions should you decide to get a van or RV in the future. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.